And now, hour number 4 of the line, Talk 99.5, Talk995.com. Andrew Mclain, who.com. Talk 99.5 TV on YouTube and the Talk 99.5 app. All of it, man, right there for you. I got so many different things, so many ways to listen, so many ways to watch. And also the Over the Line podcast, which you can find all the info for that at AndrewMcLeanWho.com. Don't forget one C in McLean. Don't put 2 C's in there. AndrewMcLeanWho.com. Check out my website, man. If you haven't gone to my website, check it out. A lot of cool stuff, a lot of cool videos on there. And if you go to our YouTube channel, you can see a lot of fun things. One thing that I don't think got enough credit is the video of John Bird eating surströmming. There is a video of that. Like, if you're looking at our YouTube channel, if you actually go to our page, Over the Line Show, and you scroll down to the videos tab.
Yuck.
Yeah, it was yuck, all right. I don't know. You might actually have to search it. If you hit the videos tab and scroll down far enough, you can see it. It says highlights Bird versus surströmming. That's actually the short version of it. I don't remember what the full episode was, but we did like kind of a highlight deal. But there's a lot. I mean, there's Dr. Diggling videos still in the mix. And, it's so funny because my mom was at the house and we were sitting there watching. I had the YouTube app up on the TV. And it suggested one of the Dr. Dingling videos. So it was that cover photo you spread out on the bed. And my mom goes, "Oh, my God." Oh, man, it was good. It was good. I did make a mess up yesterday, and that has to do with Mandu. And I want to apologize to my dear friends at Mandu because I had booked a session for yesterday and I forgot about it. I had booked it weeks in advance. And because it was Memorial Day and I wasn't working, I didn't think about I needed to go to Mandu because I usually do on Mondays. And they called me about 10 minutes before my session's supposed to start. And they're like, "Hey, you coming in today?" And I'm like, "Oh, God." So if y'all were looking to get in at 2:30 on Monday and couldn't because it was booked, that's my bad. I apologize. But they were super cool about it, because they understand these things happen. But when it comes to Mandu, free session, waiting on you. I don't care who you are. As long as you're 18 years old, you're good to go. Male, female, I don't care if you're 90 years old. I've seen some older people up there getting their Mandu workout in and actually living a better, healthier life because of it. A lot of times people go not necessarily to get jacked up, build muscle, and lose weight, although a lot of people do. Some people go because they've had problems, like in my case, back problems. A couple ruptured discs in my lower back. It's a common issue for a lot of people, especially guys. And no matter how many epidurals and nerve blocks and pain meds and all this kind of stuff, nothing has ever fixed it, right? Nothing has ever solved that problem. It always creeps back in. And everything a doctor would do would always be temporary. Now, there's the surgical option. There's an option for surgery, but there's also a risk that something bad could happen, and then you could just continue to live with pain, and there's nothing they can do about it except for more surgeries that may cause more problems. What Mandu has done for me is something that doctors never seem to be able to accomplish. And that was get me in a position where I rarely deal with any back problems. And it's a mixture of things. It's losing weight is one of them, but also building muscle in that region. Because when you do a Mandu workout, it's a full body workout. It's working out all your muscles at the same time. There's no need to go to the gym and have to do this machine, then that machine for that part of your body, and this machine for that part of your body to do 10 machines to get a full body workout. No. It's 15 minutes, one workout, full body. I'm telling you, it will transform you. It will change your life. So here's what I want you to do. There's 3 locations, and you can go to any of the 3 that you want, no matter where you sign up at. Homewood, Huntsville, and Tuscaloosa. So right here in Birmingham, Huntsville, and Tuscaloosa are the 3 locations, and you can get a free session at any of them. I just want you to try it. I've never pressured y'all to sign up. I've never pressured y'all to buy sessions. I've never done any of that. I've only asked you to try it for free. And it's because I'm such a believer in this that I know once you try it out, you are seriously going to consider signing up. So go to the website. You get your free session that way. Or go to the website and get the phone number for the location and call them to get the free session. Either way, make sure you mention me. Here's the website, MANDUU.com. That's MANDUU.com. Tell them your boy, hey now, sent ya. Yeah. All right, I'm going to move fast here because I am. Should I do a wheel of segments today or should I wait since you're kind of, your voice is out? I don't mind waiting. I just don't know if it's as effective with no voice.
Your call.
Your call. Your call. But I don't know. Let's see how I feel at 1:30. And then we'll make a decision. Couple of fake stories that were floating out there over the weekend. One was the reaction to the Iran deal being made, right? It was Lindsey Graham. It was Ted Cruz. It was obviously Democrats who, by the way, can I say when it comes to Memorial Day, Democrats made a post on social media, like the actual Democrats account, and it said, "Today we honor the American heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in Trump's war with Iran." And it shows the 13 service members that we've lost in this conflict. Heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice in Trump's war with Iran. That's a political statement. It's not the U.S.'s war. It's Trump's war. So what they're saying is these 13, in this post on Memorial Day, that these 13 individuals gave their life for nothing, for Trump's illegitimate war with Iran, demeaning their memory. Now imagine that being your son or your daughter or your family member or your husband or your wife, and you see an entire political party, half of the government, post something as disgusting as that. They ended up deleting it, obviously. But just to show you the type of people that are speaking out on this, that's the legitimacy that they have. So anyway, rhinos, Democrats alike, they're up in arms. The neocons in particular, the warmongers. They're like, oh my gosh, this is awful. That Donald Trump is giving them what they want. We need to go to war. We need to destroy Iran. This is what's amazing. And some people don't put anything into this, but I think it is a great indicator. Is that when both sides come after you, you're probably doing the right thing. And they don't come after you simultaneously. I'm talking you go from one side or the other based on what is right, not based on what a party or a particular rhino or a liberal or whatever. You're doing things. And this is Donald Trump to a T, doing things the way he thinks they need to be done. Because people like Lindsey Graham, they'll be with Trump if he's making these airstrikes on mining boats and missile launch sites. Oh, yeah. But then the moment he talks about ending the war, these people get bent out of shape because they're warmongers. Or they're just incredibly packed with AIPAC funding or whatever. There's a plethora of reasons that these individuals are warmongers. But he responded to them because they were upset. They're like, Mr. President, you can't do this. You can't make this deal. So Trump, to back up, announces a largely negotiated framework on Saturday. It included the plan being a 60-day ceasefire, the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, concessions from Iran on nuclear enrichment, and Hezbollah ending its offensive against Israel. And early reports on the deal with Iran suggested that an agreement is near and that Iran is poised to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and abandon the nuclear enrichment gimmick. But various would-be allies of Donald Trump, they came out and started questioning Donald Trump's deal-making abilities, which is by far the most humorous thing about this. The fact that people like Lindsey Graham would go and would tweet about Donald Trump and say, why are you making a bad deal? The one guy that's like the master negotiator, you're going to criticize him. Now, Lindsey Graham, who spent the entirety of Trump's second term pushing for war with Iran, slams Donald Trump's potential deal on Saturday as a, quote, a nightmare for Israel, and urged Donald Trump to not stop the war. Keep it going. Neocon Ted Cruz, same thing. He said he's deeply concerned. He was pearl clutching over the notion that the notion of this deal that was being, again, reported. He suggested that Trump was making a disastrous mistake with a deal that would result in Iran receiving billions of dollars, being able to enrich uranium and develop nuclear weapons, and having effective control over the Strait of Hormuz. And both sides were amplified with retweets from Mark Levin, who described the efforts to secure a deal as a problem. Mark Levin's only going to take one side of this. He's Lindsey Graham in this situation, okay? It's just, that's the way this particular issue, and Mark Levin's not always wrong. He's been obnoxious, incredibly obnoxious as of late, but he's not always wrong. And he's a big Trump guy. Yeah, give him that. But he goes out and tweets all about it, and he's like, history teaches us that peace deals are best made after the enemy is defeated or surrendered. And so Trump had to come out and respond to this. And a lot of people were concerned because they were seeing the responses about the deal, and these people are not in the know about what the deal actually is. They were just taking bogus reports. And he had to respond on True Social, saying that if I make a deal with Iran, it will be a good and proper one, not like the one made by Obama, which gave Iran massive amounts of cash and a clear and open path to a nuclear weapon. Our deal is the exact opposite, but nobody has seen it or knows what it is. That's only half the tweet, but that's all you need. Everybody that was commenting on it hadn't even seen the deal. He said it isn't even fully negotiated yet, so don't listen to the losers who are critical about something they know nothing about. Unlike those before me who should have solved this problem many years ago, I don't make bad deals. Scott Jennings, though, he was the one civilized voice amongst all this, taking information that he got directly from the administration, and posted, after receiving a briefing from a senior Trump administration official on the status of the Iran negotiations, someone in the know and not just speculating, he said, I can tell you the following. Now, this right here, I'll tell you how this played out. The Trump administration sees all this speculation about what's in the deal, and they say, you know what? Screw these people. We'll just go to Scott Jennings, who we can trust, who's a great guy, and let him put it out there. He said the USA is not giving Iran money for nothing. All speculation and propaganda to the contrary is false. Some hardline elements of Iran's government, the IRGC, have pushed fake stories and propaganda to try to kill this negotiation. And again, as I stated earlier, our media buys into that. They essentially get their news from Iran. Iran deal is not done, he says, 95%, but still haggling over some language. He said no deal is being signed today. This was back, was it yesterday or Sunday? Maybe a few more days before this is done. He says Iran will not get any money or sanctions relief up front. Iran must turn over their nuclear stockpile to get anything. USA position is that failure to meet deal commitments means Iran gets nothing. He said long-term USA objective is preventing Iran from having a nuclear weapon. Initial deal point is to reestablish free flow of commerce by reopening the Strait of Hormuz. The deal should have two phases. One, open the Strait of Hormuz, give world economy breathing room. Iran agrees to give up enriched uranium. Step two, get the nuclear material turned over. Only then can Iran get sanctions relief. The bottom line goal is to make a deal that lowers cost for Americans, calms world energy markets, and guarantees that Iranians cannot have a nuclear weapon over the long term. We aren't there yet. Iran takes forever to get you a response on even small things, but we are close, although it still could be a few days. So that's it. That's the deal. And that's what Lindsey Graham and Ted Cruz are freaking out over. It was ridiculous because I was seeing it. I was seeing it everywhere. Everybody was commenting on a deal that they hadn't even seen. And they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he's doing this." And I'm like, I don't even have to see the deal to know that this is not a deal similar to the one that Obama got. Donald Trump knows what he's doing in these negotiations, even with radical idiots like the ones in Iran. Also, other fake stories like this one, and this ties into what's happening right now, where J.D. Vance is speaking in Washington on the anti-fraud measures from the administration. He's there with Andrew Ferguson, who's the FTC chairman and the task force, the anti-fraud task force vice chairman. So J.D. Vance is the chairman. He's the vice chairman. But this story about J.D. Vance saying he's isolated himself in the White House and he's going to drop out of the 2028 race, even though he hasn't announced, is also bogus. I'll give you the details on that when we get back. Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy. Man, you got all kind of stuff going on. A lot of baseball going on. NBA Finals. And oh, by the way, who was it? Draymond Green was on the roast of Kevin Hart. And I know this is a week old, but I just watched it last night. And they were in LA and they were booing the crap out of him the entire time. I was like, dang, bro. Dang. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What I need to talk to you about is Underdog Fantasy. And why have you not downloaded the app yet? Download it. Free to download, free to sign up, free to use my promo code, which is Hey Now, all one word, HEYNOW. When you do that, you're going to get $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. Can't beat that, man. But you get in there and you look around at the app and you'll figure it out. You guys are smart. It's not very hard to use at all. Once you get the hang of it, you start making your picks and you start winning money, man. This is, you may say, how can you do that in Alabama? It's 100% legal in Alabama and in most states. You just get in there, you make your picks, you pick the players on whatever sport it is, and you can mix and match if you want to. Pick the players, figure out which stat you think looks best, and just pick higher or lower on that stat. You say at the end of the game, they're going to be higher than this number or lower than this number. Get your picks right and win real money, up to 5,000 times your cash. It really is that easy. So download the app today and use promo code HeyNow to score $50 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. It's promo code HeyNow. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 19 or older and present in Alabama. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-MY-RESET or visit ncpgambling.org. It really is that easy. So J.D. Vance, well, a report comes out about J.D. Vance being isolated in the White House. He's isolated in the White House. They don't like him anymore, and he's going to not run for president in 2028. And it's all because of Tulsi Gabbard's resignation, which it wasn't anything more than her just being a good wife and going to support her husband. It said, let's see, it was the Daily Mail suggested that Gabbard's departure had left Vance, quote, more isolated than ever. And I didn't even read the whole piece, but J.D. Vance's office had to ultimately respond to it. A spokesperson for J.D. Vance said the report was, quote, just a flimsy compilation of completely illegitimate sources who have no idea what they're talking about. And that is really the bulk of the news that we get these days. And you mix it with social media and it just becomes this big cesspool of fake garbage. While most of the people in this audience and a lot of people across the country have kind of become accustomed to being able to sift through the news and maybe lightly research things to find out if they're real or not, it still is amazing how you are constantly bombarded with fake news day in and day out. I was listening to Skrillex all morning. I don't know what it was. I was kind of in, you know how you have certain days where you want to listen to certain music? And like mine kind of changes day to day. Well, not always. Sometimes it'd be several days in a row, but then today, as I'm flipping through different songs, kind of getting my pre-show jams going, I got a clip of Skrillex in there, and I was like, okay, that's that. I'm at a point in my life where I'm feeling Skrillex again. So I'm going back to the D and what do we call it? The DMB or the EDM. So is that EDM music? What is that? I don't even know. Hey, Pro Lift Garage Doors. Let me tell you about Mike Miller and his guys real quick. Love what they do. And as I tell you, Mike is one of these guys that works out with me at Mandu. And he just, by the way, congratulations to Mike, who just completed his 150th session at Mandu. Great job, man. Mike's out there killing it, beast mode. And I'm proud of him, man. But I'm glad to be teamed up with Mike because what they do with garage doors, I didn't really think a whole lot about it. And you guys may be the same way. You're like, a garage door is just a garage door. You know, it opens and closes. And as long as it's doing that, everything's fine. And in reality, that's really all you needed to do. But things happen, you know. You might be married to an Asian lady who is a bad driver and she runs to the garage door and you got to get the panels replaced or you know, whatever. Or maybe springs break or the motor goes out and all this kind of stuff. And you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing. Those garage doors they're heavy, all right? You don't have to pick them up and close them every time you need to get out of the garage. Or maybe you just want to upgrade. You want it to look different. You want to match the aesthetic of your house. Or maybe you just want to change to these newer motors on these garage doors that are almost silent. It don't shake the entire house when you open and close the deals. And this is not just your regular car garages. I'm talking about big roll-up doors on barns, any kind of garage door. Mike and his team can get it taken care of for you. They got all the options to lay it out for you. If you're a 99.5 listener and you mention yours truly, Angel Mclain, when you talk to him, they will they'll come out there and give you a free estimate and show you what they got and everything and all your options, and then you can make a decision from there. But get with them, man. ProLift Doors, ProLiftDoors.com. Here's the number. Write it down. Put it in your phone, 205-346-8465. That's 205-346-8465. And again, ProLiftDoors.com, ProLiftDoors.com. I'll wait till tomorrow on the Wheel of Segments, and maybe John Bird will have his voice back because it just doesn't feel right, me talking to myself during the Wheel of Segments, especially if I'm talking about very and I'm talking about very inappropriate things, and it just gets weird. So we don't want to do that if we don't have to. Anyway, let's keep rolling because I do have a bunch of stuff that I want to get to. That
I can laugh, ha 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 ha.
Well, if we have to do it tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. But for now, we'll wait and see how all that plays out. So, speaking of 2028, fake report about J.D. Vance not wanting to run for president. Of course, he's not even announced or alluded to anything like that because his priorities are not in the political future. They are in the now and into the, exposing billions of dollars in stolen benefits, which there's a new, that I discovered this over the weekend, a new food stamp fraud scheme going on out there, out in the public, that I don't know that I'm ready to talk about because I've only seen a couple instances of it. But as I dig into it, if I find out it's a more broad problem, I will bring it up. And it's got to do with entrepreneurship in food stamps. It's a very interesting story. It's a story nobody's talking about. I've just kind of put the pieces together myself and realized what people are doing. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that now. I want to talk about the EBT card of Congress, which is AOC. She is basically the EBT card of Congress, right? She has taken a major step towards a 2028 presidential bid, according to a new report. It says that the New York Congresswoman has begun a de facto national tour. As you know, she was recently in Montgomery. Is that where she was? Was she in Birmingham or Montgomery? I guess she was in Montgomery. Visited key early primary states, held meetings with Democrat insiders, and continues to build the kind of infrastructure that could fuel a White House campaign. So while AOC has not formally announced any decision, her recent moves, combined with a strong early polling and a history of hiring veterans from Bernie Sanders' presidential bids, have led many to speculate that she has something up her sleeve. So in this new report from Axios, reporter Alex Thompson and Holly Otterman detailed how AOC is making concrete steps towards a presidential campaign. The report describes her as one of the biggest X factors in the 2028 Democrat primary, noting that Democrat operatives believe she could easily raise $100 million just from small dollar donors, mobilize many supporters of Sanders' past campaigns, and command attention as few other candidates could. The report points out that just this month, AOC has rallied voters in Philadelphia for a left-wing congressional candidate in a competitive primary, spoken at a rally in Montgomery, Alabama about voting rights with the redistricting stuff, addressed the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta with Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock, where she all of a sudden transformed into a black preacher, met with Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s daughter at the King Center in Atlanta to talk about data centers and voting rights, visited Morehouse School of Medicine, also in Atlanta, to discuss black maternal health, and rolled out several endorsements in races across the country. That is pretty wild to think that AOC has the kind of power within the Democrat Party to be out there doling out endorsements and it making a difference. Could we get AOC running for president? Wouldn't that be exciting? What a wild time to be alive, man. President Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. President Cortez. It's crazy. Democrats are crazy. Crazy guys. And if you don't believe that they're crazy, there's people speculating that Kamala Harris is going to run again. And you can even make that conclusion based on her Memorial Day post. Because if you recall, it was her first Memorial Day as vice president. She took to Twitter and posted, "Enjoy the long weekend," about Memorial Day. The long weekend. Not Memorial Day. It's just a long weekend. It was much different this time around. Which, if you're going to run for president again, you got to make sure not to do the whole long weekend thing. She said, "Today we pause to remember the Americans who laid down their lives in service to our nation. May we always honor their legacy and support the loved ones they left behind." It's quite the change in tone. There's also many other things that she has done or said that people are speculating as to why she might be announcing that she's running. I mean, she signaled it last month. Apparently, Al Sharpton asked Kamala Harris if she would run for president in 2028 after she got trounced in 24. And she said, quote, "Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it." And then she probably cackled or something. But it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be sad. It's going to be a little bit depressing, though. And I often find myself thinking about this. Like, you know, I mean, the next presidential election signals the end of Donald Trump. And we really, if you think about it, we got Trump for 12 years. Even though he was not president for 4 of those. We got Donald Trump, the politician, Donald Trump, the entity, Donald Trump, the guy that came to save America for 12 plus years. And there's never going to be another like him. That's the sad part for me. Is we'll never get another Donald Trump. And who knows? Maybe I'll get surprised. Maybe we will get another Donald Trump. But he changed politics in a way that none of us, I don't think any of us ever saw coming. He saved politics. I mean, really. I mean, he changed it in a way that far more people pay attention. Now, there's a lot of people that don't pay attention, but he kind of broke the mold of politics just kind of being for middle-aged and old people. And now young people are paying attention, you know? Now, paying attention and being informed are two different things. Keep that in mind. But on both sides of the aisle, Donald Trump single-handedly is the reason that people pay attention to politics. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Good luck, Kamala Harris. Good luck, AOC. I'm also very fascinated in this LA mayor's race with Spencer Pratt and Karen Bass. Maxine Waters just came out and endorsed Karen Bass for LA mayor, by the way, in case anybody cares. The other chick, the Raymond chick, whatever her name is, I think she's a city councilwoman. She's going to be a third placer, so nobody's really paying attention to her. But Spencer Pratt has gotten so much momentum in L.A. They put out this one ad, and it was 3 guys in their backyard barbecuing, and I thought it was genius. They're talking to each other about all the problems in L.A., and before they would address or before they would bring up each problem, they would say, I'm not MAGA or anything, but I really would like the homeless situation to be cleaned up. I'm not MAGA or anything, but I really don't like stepping on needles when I'm walking through the city parks. I'm not homeless or anything, but I would like my neighborhoods to not be burned to the ground. And they say, I'm not MAGA or anything. And so that was the kind of the thing for Spencer Pratt. It's like, yeah, I'm running as a Republican. And yeah, Donald Trump has said, people need to vote for me. He's like, but I'm not necessarily a MAGA guy. He's like, I'm just out here trying to fix a city and take it away from the greasy palms of the people that have screwed us over. Not to mention, the Olympics are supposed to be in L.A., and it's an absolute cesspool right now. He was being asked by a reporter about the homeless situation, and he's like, well, why do you think you could do a better job with the homeless situation? And he's like, these aren't homeless people. He said, these are drug addicts. And that's the problem. You're treating them as just poor, innocent, unhoused people. He's like, they're drug addicts. They want to be out on the street. They've spent billions of dollars. LA, California spent billions of dollars to build treatment centers and all these different places for these people to stay. And they're all staying on the street. Why? Because they can't do drugs. They can't do drugs in those treatment centers. So they would rather live on the street. He said, and living on the street, that's what they like to do. They like to do drugs. He said, so here's what we're going to do. He said, if I'm mayor, I'm going to work with the federal government, unlike the Democrats in this city. He said, and FEMA, in a matter of days, can give us a piece of federal land, put up manufactured homes to house these individuals. And for those that don't want to go and get into these sober living situations or whatever, he's like, we'll either throw them in jail or they can run off to the next liberal city to be pampered and coddled by that liberal mayor. And I'm like, it's not a bad idea. It's actually pretty common sense stuff, but people like Karen Bass aren't going to do common sense stuff. And I think, I don't know. I've never even been to LA, so I don't have a feel of what the people out there are thinking, but I got to imagine that the people that live there have been so beat down that even if they lie about who they voted for to their friends and to their social clubs and their cliques, that a lot of them are going to go in there and cast their vote for Spencer Pratt. But what Spencer Pratt's got to worry about is having an election that he won stolen from him, because that's what they're now looking at. They're looking at a very weak Karen Bass, and they're scared that it's going to be pulled out from under them, the rug that they've been relying on for so long. California politics has been a mess for a very, very long time. Even in the governor's race, they've learned nothing. Tom Steyer, who's a billionaire, is campaigning on taxing the billionaires. He was also asked about trans athletes playing in high school sports. He's like, I'm totally in favor of trans athletes playing in women's sports. I'm like, you guys have learned absolutely nothing, bro. You guys are out of your mind. But like I said, it's going to be fun to watch. Can't wait to see it. It's going to be a good time. Noto Roofing, bringing you this part of the show, Noto Roofing. And no better time than now to get with Noto and get your roof checked out. If you have not done that, boy, oh boy. Well, what are you doing, man? Get on top of it. No, you don't get on top of it. They get on top of it. It's not just a free roof inspection. It's the complimentary roof tune-up, where they say, that's their way of saying thank you for inviting us out. Appreciate you. And if there's a little problem up there, they get it taken care of. With the storms and the rain and everything else, I'm telling you, you got to go ahead and set up an appointment. Call them up. Tell them I sent you. And ask them what's a good day. Or they're going to ask you what's a good day. They're going to work with your schedule. So whatever's good for you, they'll set it up. They'll come out there. It doesn't take a lot of time. They just hop up on the roof, look around, check for problems. If they find them, they tell you. If they don't find any problems, they tell you that as well. You don't have to use Noto if you don't want to, but I'm going to tell you, if they do find problems, you're not going to find a better company out there. They'll help you file the insurance claim and everything else, and they'll do everything in their power to make sure you pay as little as possible out of pocket. So here's the number, 205-848-2299. That's 205-848-2299. Online, notoroofing.com. 205-545-9950. I'm going to be honest. I got to rambling today, and I don't even know if I didn't even look at the phone lines. So if y'all spent your day on hold, that's my bad, dude. My bad, dude. Anyway. Looking at the text line. Danny says, Andrew, always listening on iHeart, and it just keeps crashing. I cannot listen to you guys because it won't stay playing. Do you know of any problems that they're having? If you could answer my text, I would appreciate it. Because I cannot hear you guys on the radio. It's just too much static. Well, if you can't hear us, then I don't guess my answer is going to... Oh, I guess he wants me to text it. I don't know, man. I mean, we've got the app. We've got the website. Let me text it to him. Can you text it to him? Well, I'll do it. Try talk995.com and see if that works. Or download the app. You can also watch us on YouTube from there. Okay. Sorry, I had to type all that out. But yeah, that's the thing. If there's problems with the app and whatever other outlet place you're using, YouTube is always going to be there. Now, maybe not as exciting. I mean, it is exciting. You get to watch us, but you know, you can't hear the breaks and you can't hear the music and all that kind of stuff. But to hear the show, YouTube is one that's not crashing. You know, it's kind of a big site to crash. Let's see. Andrew says, speaking of your music taste, you ever heard the rumbling by Sim? Is it Sim or SIM? I've not heard that. Mississippi says, do the wheel and let JB entertain us as an AI robot. Yeah, I missed out on that one. Bubba says, occasional cortex is a determined donkey. Yes, she is. People are saying iHeart's working now. I'm not supposed to be promoting iHeart because that's not like, we don't get credit when y'all listen to iHeart because that's not us. But, you know, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. As long as you're listening, that's pretty much all I care about. Hey, Chuck Davis. Let me tell you about Chuck Davis. ChuckDavisLaw.com. ChuckDavisLaw.com. That's my personal attorney, Chuck Davis, which I can talk to him in a few days. I need to reach out to him. Need to go by there and visit him. His office is over there, kind of Hoover area. What is that one road that runs along? Like if you get off the interstate at the Highway 31 exit, coming from the south, if you're on 65 North and you get off there, it's Old Columbiana Road, I think is what it is. His office is down that way. Now, not that you need his office, you just need to call him. And even if you're in a situation where you're not mobile and you can't get to him, he'll actually come to you or meet you somewhere. If you need to talk to him, ask questions, he'll do that. Personal injury, wrongful death, slip and fall, wills, probate contracts, divorce, custody battles. You know the drill. If you need representation, this is your guy. 205-823-9992. It's 205-823-9992. And online, ChuckDavisLaw.com. No representation is made that the legal services provided are superior to the legal services provided by other lawyers. That's a wrap, cuzzy. I'm out of here. Hope you have a good rest of your day. I know the first day back after that weekend is a little rough, but you're going to make it. I believe in you. I'm out of here. Thank you for what you do, John Burr. Back tomorrow with a brand new episode. Until then, see you, Clark.